And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzogoose, back with you for another review. And this time I am going over to DC and looking at one of the big books for this week, Forever Evil, number 6. Now, before I even jump into this, I have to tell you, there's going to be spoilers in this review. I can't help it. There's some big things to talk about here, and I will try to telegraph them if you decide to watch and want to try to skip ahead. Otherwise, go read the book first, just in case, so you don't get spoiled for the issue. Big things happen, like I said, and I really want to talk about them. So, yeah. So there's going to be some spoilers. So I do apologize for all those of you who do not want to be spoiled, and I completely understand if you wait to watch this video. All right. Disclaimer out of the way. Written by Geoff with art by David Finch. This is the penultimate issue of the series. Only one more to go. This was delayed, and it was well worth the wait, I think. The art. Okay, I'm going to cover the art and then the writing, and then I'll go into the actual story points. The art at times was really good for me. At other times, not so great. It's kind of in the middle, and I get this is a big event book, and usually those kind of books have certain issues that kind of suffer a little bit in the art, due to the schedule, having to get them out there and everything. So, whatever. It wasn't terrible or oh my god, this is awful art, but there was just some kind of posing and different things that kind of bothered me here. Specifically, one point with Captain Cold doing a kick, and it just looked very stiff, like a toy soldier doing a kick, and it just didn't quite sell it for me. Writing wise, though, this was a really great paced book. Flowed very nicely. We got these little there was like 3 major things, in my opinion, that happened throughout the issue, and you got them stair-stepped and kind of tossed in just a little, piece by piece, a little bit at a time, and leading up to these great climactic moments throughout the issue that I thought played out really well and really sold the urgency and the the gravitas of the story going on in the background there, with each of the characters and each part of this story. So, okay, so going into the story itself, we start off with Lex Luthor's group of his Injustice Society, which Batman and Catwoman have teamed up with, and they are about to infiltrate the Justice League satellite that has fallen, that has become the base of operations for the Crime Syndicate. They hear heartbeats. We know that the Crime Syndicate is not there, except for Grid and the Outsider, aka Alfred. So it's like, oh, heartbeats. Okay, so they make their way inside. Meanwhile, you have the Crime Syndicate. They're still watching the sky and this rift that has appeared, kind of heralding their world's destroyer coming into this one as well, thanks to Power Ring's ring. So they're all trying to deal with that, and they're arguing back and forth on whether it's important to deal with it or not, and all this stuff. And so back at the satellite, you have Grid and Alfred, or the Outsider, talking, and meanwhile the Outsider is like conversing with Owlman, who is not there, and saying, you need to get back here. Grid is doing something to Nightwing, and you still have this guy tied up that the Crime Syndicate brought with them. And we get his identity revealed, which is one of the major things, and I'll get to that towards the end. So, again, if you're watching this and trying to skip ahead at the spoilers, I'm just going to save that one for the end. With the Nightwing thing, we learn, and this is a spoiler, that he has been strapped up to this murder machine that was built to hold Doomsday, which kind of throws continuity out the window if Superman and Wonder Woman is supposed to be taking place now, since Superman acts like he's never seen. I don't know. Anyway, obviously Nightwing knows who Doomsday is at this point in time. Wherever that lands in continuity, I don't know. You figure it out. But he tells Batman, once they find him, that this thing is hooked up to his heart, and it's only going to defuse if his heart stops. So if his heart keeps beating, they're all gonna die because it's a failsafe and it's gonna blow up. And meanwhile, the Crime Syndicate, they come back and they're battling and everything. Black Manta, this is. I don't want to give too much away. I do want to spoil it, but Black Manta, let's say he is kid gloves off here, and people get hurt. All right, so and Johnny Quick gets really hurt by Captain Cold of all people. I mean, like really hurt, bad, and he gets hurt even worse later. So yeah, it's just some big major things happen to the Crime Syndicate. They are reeling. They're not faring well here against Lex Luthor's Injustice Society. I mean, you got Black Adam, you got Sinestro, you got Batman, you got Lex Luthor in the battle armor, Black Manta, Catwoman, and it's a pretty even match. And then things take a turn at the end. But anyway, Lex Luthor decides, I don't want to die, so I'm going to kill Nightwing. And Batman says, if you touch him, I'm going to kill you. And that's serious, so Lex Luthor, spoiler alert, puts his hand over Nightwing's mouth, smothers him to death, and Batman proceeds to beat the crap out of Lex Luthor until Luthor utters he can still be saved. So, we'll see what happens with that. Kind of tease the fate of Nightwing, but we just don't quite know yet. The other thing was all the devastation happening to the Crime Syndicate, which I don't want to fully spoil because it will take some of the impact away from it if you have not read it yet. The big reveal, though, the person under the hood that they've had tied up this entire time, which it's not too hard to figure out who it is. I guessed it. I'm sure a lot of people guessed who it was, but the other element of this I don't think anybody saw coming. And maybe somebody did, but I didn't. I know I didn't. I didn't see this part of it coming. So they untie him, and once the Crime Syndicate finds out that they've untied him, not just untied him, but ungagged him, they're freaking out. They're like, you don't know what you've done. Under the hood, major spoiler alert. Okay. Alexander Luthor. Not too hard to figure out if you know the Crime Syndicate's past history, pre-New 52 and all that. Alexander Luthor was the ultimate hero against the evil Crime Syndicate. It's the story, so it's kind of makes sense that that's who it would be. The reason they have him tied up and gagged, though, is the interesting part, because apparently this version of Alexander Luthor has the power of Shazam. He says it backwards. Shazam spelled backwards, but he has the power of Shazam, and he calls upon it. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is he is obsessed with power. So he threatens to, as the issue ends, he threatens to drain every single person there of their power, absorb it into himself to make himself the ultimate hero. That was a twist that I did not see coming. I appreciated it. I loved the build-up to it, the mystery of not just who it is, but why he's there and why he's tied up and why they're so afraid of him, was brilliant. I loved it. If that's happened before and I just don't know, forgive me. I haven't read a whole lot of past DC. I just know that Alexander Luthor always played a part in the Crime Syndicate. So, or against the Crime Syndicate. But for me, that was a big twist, and I absolutely loved it. Really great issue for that reason alone. I have to take a few points off for the art, but story-wise, I think it was fantastic. So yeah, I can't wait to see how that wraps up and how they fight off this threat, if he's staying around, how that's going to be dealt with Black Adam and Shazam around. Basically drawing from the same powers, more or less, since he is in this universe now. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But a very interesting issue, and very good climactic penultimate issue of the series. So for this this issue, Forever Evil number 6, I am going to give a 4 out of 5. Like I said, the art just, I don't know. There were problems with the art that I just can't get over. But and again, it was a great issue, but it wasn't like it wasn't one of those issues that every page was just like, I can't wait to turn the next page. It was build up and, you know, climax, but it was a lot of action. It was just for that main reveal towards the end, and just the brutalness that happened to the Crime Syndicate, that really sold me on the issue. So you know, 4 out of 5 I think is pretty fair for it. But yeah, if you like the issue, dislike the issue, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and interact with you about them. Let me know what you thought of the review as well. And yeah, so check out all the other reviews here on Comic Frontline, updating almost daily, growing fast, all kinds of stuff we got going on here. Reviews of comics, toys, TV shows, movies, video games, blind bags, unboxings, hauls, anything, Media Madness, the live show, you know, all kinds of stuff that we're even talking about for the future. So a lot of stuff to take in and enjoy. So a lot of content for you. And please subscribe if you have not thus far, so you can get all those updates in your sub box each and every day. So, and check out or listen to the Zone 4 podcast each and every Friday right here on Comic Frontline. And you know, this week's episode was fantastic, so please, it was a fantastic discussion, I should say, that we had. Very nice sidetrack, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And you can also find it on zone4podcast.com, comicrelated.com, and various other places. Speaking of comicrelated.com, check out comicrelated.com and comicfrontline.com, both your #1 source for all your comic news, reviews, podcasts, columns, webcomics, so much more, updating every single day. And yeah, I think that's it. So until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.